Welcome to the Gateway RV Transport Podcast. We're glad to be back. Today we are really excited to have one of our favorite drivers here with us, Phil. So thank you, Phil, for coming.
Well, I appreciate it.
We're excited to have you here. How long have you been with Gateway?
5 months now.
Okay.
I think so. No, I'm sorry. 4 months I've been with you guys.
And have all your dreams come true?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Pretty
We delivered
much.
on that ridiculous promise.
Well, actually, getting to try it's freedom with getting to do what you love. So if you love the industry, there's so many perks to it. It's not just work. It's you get to experience what you actually live in. So it makes a big difference.
Well, we tell that to drivers all the time, like during orientations and stuff, is if you're not taking advantage of the cool things that the job has to offer, you're missing out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So I know we've spoken, and we know that you take that seriously, like taking the, taking advantage. So we'll get into a little bit of that, of some of the cool stuff that you've been able to see and do. But maybe we start a little further back. Kind of tell us a little bit of the origin of Phil, kind of where you're from, and family life.
I was born in Indiana. I was born at Methodist there in Indianapolis. I've been married for 12 years. I've been a mechanic most of my life. I've been in and out of the trucking industry. As you guys previously know, I was a tow truck operator for 9.5 years, in and out with mechanic work, and then finally decided to get my own truck, and you polite gentlemen gave me an opportunity to pursue something I've been, greatly interested in, and that's pretty much it there. I got two kids. One is in Bloomington College, and my daughter is married with her own kids now. So,
Wow.
Okay, all right on.
Other than that, that's pretty much it as far as that subject.
Yeah, cool. So mechanics. So that's a really handy tool to have, even in a job like this.
Yes, sir.
I know one of our biggest expenses is, our trucks. When they go down, it's expensive.
Yes.
So are you able to do a lot of your own stuff, or do you have a guy?
No, I do my own maintenance.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, I just did my fuel filter switch out, my oil change, and then just actually calibrated my new turbo actuator, because shops are pretty pricey on those. So took me a little bit to get it ordered and everything. The only thing I don't do as far as my own maintenance is change my tires. I can change them by hand, but it's a real tedious and long process.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's
I worked at a tire shop a long time ago, and I remember thinking then, like, I think I could do this, but not worth it.
I'd done it once, switched out 8 tires, but it took me about an hour per tire. So yeah, it's a little too much. So I just stuck to taking them to the tire shops, let them deal with that.
How did you get into working on trucks? How did you get into being a mechanic?
My father was a roadside diesel mechanic. So he actually did all the heavy machinery for my grandfather, who owned Knight's Demolition before he passed away. He maintained all their machinery, and then he started his own roadside trucking company where he would do repairs on the side of the road. So I'd travel with him and do a lot of stuff with him. So I changed out a lot of semi-tires as a child.
Yeah.
So I kind of was
Those are
born
heavy.
into
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, he'd always help me pick them up until I got into my teen years, and then he'd make me do most of the heavy lifting. And
There's a strategy to picking up and mounting heavy tires.
yeah,
And people don't understand, like, because you got to line up all the holes,
yes,
and while you're holding up a tire that sometimes weighs 100 pounds,
yeah, easy.
it's there's a trick to it.
We'd use 2 bars. I'd stick the 2 bars underneath the tire, line the tire up, and then I'd lift the bars. Kind of leverage. It'd help out a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I spent a lot of time under semi-trailers, greasing all the fittings. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen Maximum Overdrive? It was the movie where all the semis came to life and was running everybody over and taking them out.
Yeah.
So they used to go through my mind as a kid, and I was like, I always listened for the air brakes to be coming on, but they was just empty trailers with no truck to them. So
Well, still,
Optimus Prime is the closest thing I think I've seen to that. Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive's a really old movie. It's from the 80s.
Okay.
But I'm into like the nostalgia of the 80s and the 70s. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'll put it on my list. I'm
Yeah,
watching.
I'm down to
cool
watch
stuff like
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, but it's a good movie, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
Well, and then wrecker service. That just like a roadside service too, or cars that have been in accidents and things like that.
I mainly did it for ISP and which is the state police department. I did a lot of IMPD calls, which is Indianapolis Police Department as well as Lafayette Police Department.
Okay.
So I cleaned up rollovers, car collisions, flat tires, just your normal basic tows, insurance calls, things like that. So
We've been on the side of the road waiting for tow guys.
yes.
Yeah.
And even doing that, you probably still see some pretty grisly accidents.
I've seen a few things I wish I wouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
But it comes with the job. So we're one of the first people on the scene. As far depending on where our location is when we get the call.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we'll show up before things get cleaned up. So we or things will get left behind in the vehicles. Parts that you really don't want to see. So
Yeah.
And how did you hear about this?
I saw you guys on the internet. I think it was Craigslist. I think I found you guys through. I think
okay.
So. I think that's how I found you guys.
Like Indeed or?
No. Matter of fact, I was referred. I saw another company. Foremost is who I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah.
I was actually referred to you guys by a friend of mine who was going to apply through you guys, but he ended up not doing it.
Okay.
So, because I thought he was going to apply the same time I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I heard about you, through a Shane Bolzer. I don't know if you guys ever.
I think I remember seeing his name come through the system.
Yeah. So that's who referred me to you guys.
Okay. Oh, right on.
So hey, let's go do this cool job together, and then last second, I'm gonna bail.
Yeah, he decided. No, that's how it really worked.
Okay.
He decided he didn't want to leave the tow trucking industry, so he kind of stayed back and was doing that, and I was already invested. So, and I was reading your guys' reviews. It's kind of a smaller place. More family oriented. You guys take care of your drivers, and versus a giant industry where you're just a plate. To them, it's just they don't really work with you if you need it, or so I kind of think of you guys as friends.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we do too. And that's hopefully is evident. I mean, that's a conscious decision. We really like the relationship that we have with drivers is high priority for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fault some of our competitors for the way that they do it. It's probably easier in a lot of ways to remove some of the human element.
Yeah.
For efficiency's sake. And so I get that, especially if you're trying to grow past certain thresholds. There's only so much interaction that you can have on a personal level, but it's something that we've decided we didn't want to sacrifice. So I'm glad that you have recognized that. We try to.
Yeah, and like I said, it's more preference wise. I mean, I guess if you like being in the bigger industries, but I've always been a smaller shop kind of guy. It's kind of just who I am. I think that's why I like being on the road so much. The isolation and not so much not being around people, but it's easier to have a better relationship, I guess, versus having to go up so many steps to get to different people in that industry. And so it's kind of nice. I talk to the other drivers when I'm out in the yards, and they're all nice guys, And matter of fact, I was picking up at Syracuse for the Oregon run, and I talked to a gentleman. I can't remember his name, but I think he was one of the nicest drivers I've met so far. Shoot, he stood out there in the rain and helped back me up to my camper when he was right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty polite of him.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we get wind of that kind of thing happening pretty often, and so we're again like we really like that about it. Yeah. And also, I mean, even for us personally, like if you like the people that you work with, it just changes. Yeah, that changes. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's here to put food on the table, to make a check. But why not enjoy it? And so more and more as we're as we're growing or taking more um, management roles or experiences and interacting more with other companies, it seems I don't know, kind of crazy that a lot of really big companies don't try to take advantage of that a little bit more. I don't know. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but
It does.
liking the people that you work with, I think you can also just developing a culture, I guess, a
Yeah.
culture of where people enjoy being there.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
you have performing people.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, they could pay a lot higher rate, but the management and the people that they work with are crummy. So it makes them not want to be there. And I think that's with any job industry. It's really going back to the tow truck jobs. The guys who run with you, if you got guys who don't want to do their job or things like that, it all reflects on everybody. So it kind of one of those things. But since I've been here, I mean, you guys have helped me out in a couple tight spots, and I try to repay the favor, and
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know,
appreciate it.
and just make sure that our job's going efficiently, and just kind of take care of each other, and that's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, related to the RV side of things, you do a lot of long west ones.
yes,
Why? Why do you
I love
prefer
the
those
desert.
ones? Okay.
I love the desert. The dry air feels good on the bones. It's the truck runs better out west. Uh, and I'm a Western guy. I
Mhm.
grew up watching Westerns with my grandfather, and I think kind of a part of that's been instilled in me. So it kind of, seeing the trains coming in and out of the tunnels,
Mhm.
around the mountains, and it just kind of, I don't know, I love the desert feel.
Yeah.
I was going through, oh, I don't think it was Wyoming. I want to say it's Nebraska. They have a town called 1880,
Okay.
and it's just a town that's original from the 1880s. And they've got the original post offices. Um, they've got an original Wells Fargo bank, the original tile company, the original trains, the original homestead. And it took me 2.5 hours to walk around this entire town. The movie Dances with the Wolves?
Hmm.
Okay, so that is where that town was. That's where that movie was filmed, was in that town. And you can literally, it's just out in the middle of fields. Like there's nothing around it for miles. But I think it's like $20 to go and see it.
Oh, cool.
And you get to walk around. They'll let you do some mining. I mean, it's awesome. They've got all the scene. They got so in the main building, they've still got all the props from the movie in there, from Kevin Costner, I believe.
Hmm.
They got his horse in there where he shot his horse, and it was actually really cool.
I'll
So
look that up. 1880.
it's either 1880 or 1800 town.
Okay.
But it's one of the two. I think it's might be the 1800 town, but I want to call it 1880 town for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Is there a
So,
show called 1880 maybe?
Is it
Or-
with
I don't
Harrison
know.
Ford or something maybe?
It's like the Yellowstone precursor to the Yellowstone show,
um,
and it's
I
something
Something
I
like that.
want to say
19.
that I've seen the previews to that,
Mhm.
and but out west, like I said, I was big on cowboys and Indians growing up.
Mhm.
So I stop at all those monuments out there and read them,
Oh, yeah.
about the wars that was going on out there, and just just the history. They even tell you how they built the roads,
Mhm.
who explored them, to map them out, and it's just nostalgia, you know.
I,
You
I
just
think I get
Yeah.
exactly what you like. I think there is a certain appeal to the kind of untamed
yeah,
Yeah.
Wild West.
Yeah.
Kind of. There's one of my favorite books is Lonesome Dove,
okay, yeah,
which the good movies too.
yeah,
But Larry McMurtry, I think I remember reading an interview or something where he talked about he wanted to really capture what it was actually like because people were kind of over romanticizing what the Old West was like and
right.
how it was really dirty and terrible and mean.
And it was,
And so he writes this book, and the reception of it, people read it and were like almost even more obsessed with it,
yeah,
even as gritty as it would have been. I think there's just a strong appeal to just kind of I don't know, the freedom maybe of what the West symbolizes even today. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I understand what you mean.
Yeah, it was just raw times, it was a lot of grit and just hardship and the overcoming of, the terrain, to even grow food in those days, out there in those desolate
Hmm.
fields, and it's just people kind of took the law into their own hands and, kind of just I don't know, I guess that's about where
Yeah.
it really is,
Hmm.
and I found out too that when they'd use the restroom, they used corn cobs.
Hell, yikes, yeah.
3 corn cobs. And I don't mean to go into those kind of
Yeah.
details, but this town literally describes to you exactly what it was really like, and it just was something that you've never seen before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you step out into that doorway, you can literally just smell the history. Like everything's preserved. Like you can't go inside the homes. Like you can go in the entryway, but they've got it blocked off to where you can't actually. But they give you the history of who lived in the homes, where they went to the colleges,
Hmm.
how they worked the fields, things like that. It was, and not to mention the goats. The goats literally just run around like dogs,
Oh, yeah.
and so they'll just come up to you and they just sit there next to you and let you pet them, and they just hang out with you, and they follow you around through the town, and you can buy feed for them, so you can put it in your pocket and you just feed them as you're walking around. They're silly goats, but it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you don't really see that out east. Everything's lush and green, but just the air out there is different. Just the way it is, and then New Mexico is something different too. The way that they live out there, and you come across through. I've been through Crow Nation a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And they still struggle. Out there in Crow Nation. As far as the Indian tribes that still exist and things like that. To the native land. Which I found out too that they actually do own the casinos and they use the casino money to buy back their land. So that's kind of a loophole that they're using, which I thought was innovative, but in the same sense, we can share that land. There's tons of it out there that's untouched, so kind of things like that, and just getting to see the scenery is just so much different.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I mean it's just
Where we grew up, it's very brown. It's like
yeah
it's like tumbleweed
Yeah.
brown. And growing up there, I didn't realize, like, that's my point of reference, and maybe an acquired beauty even. There'd be kind of these dramatic rock formations and a lot of sand and dirt
yes
and just little not even cool cactuses, just little tiny
yeah
cactuses.
I see that all the
And
time.
so I remember just always thinking that it's quite a beautiful landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And then then traveling there with my wife and being like, oh, this is where I grew up, and she'd be like, whoa, it's very brown. And I was like, oh no, it's pretty though.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are I'm not saying she was this way, but it's an acquired beauty.
Yes.
I guess what I'm saying, at least where we were at. Some of other parts of Utah I think are objectively just striking.
Yes. Oh
Coolest
yeah.
places in the
Some
world,
really
yeah.
red rock and just dramatic.
And that color you're talking about is just beautiful. Like you just don't see that anywhere else. And I think it's mainly Utah.
Yeah.
I think like a small portion of New Mexico has that, but not on the scale of Utah. Like Utah has some of the most beautiful landscape.
Oh, yeah.
Being through Arizona, New Mexico, all the way into California. When you get into California, the mountains don't even look the same. So, I know you gentlemen's been to California.
Oh, yeah.
You know how when you go in there, it's just like giant dirt piles. That's what their
Yeah,
mountains
like
look
Southern
like.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you get into Arizona and you see like these just big untamed cactuses that are like
Yeah.
the size of our trees here.
Yeah.
And then it's the only place you see those
Yeah.
is in certain parts of Arizona. It's just like, well, why are they growing those? But yet the landscape's the same and they're not over here, It's just like
Must be something very specific to
Yeah.
it. Or
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
anytime I go through that part of Arizona, I'm looking for. I'm just obviously driving safe.
Yeah, of
But
course.
scanning the cactuses to find the one perfect,
Yes.
one arm up, one arm down.
Like Three
cactus.
Amigos cactus.
Yeah, I'm looking for the
Yes.
perfect cactus, and
Yeah.
I've yet to find it. But
I love going through, and there's so many weird types of them. Like,
Yeah.
there's some spots in Arizona where it's like you got the like we were just what are those ones? What are the big cactuses called?
like saguaro.
Saguaro, something like that, right?
I'm not for sure.
Saguaro cactuses, I think. But then there's those, and then you see these ones like I found this one. It was like a perfect sphere.
Like a barrel
Yes.
cactus.
It's like pink.
Yes,
It's like,
I've
those are
seen
so
those.
weird. Yeah.
I'll be because sometimes when it's real hot out in the desert, you got to pull over and let the truck cool down some.
Mhm.
So as I'm sitting there, on a pull off for truck parking, letting it cool down, you just look out there and you'll see some of the weirdest stuff out there too. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but they have giant spiders that live in those cactuses.
Yeah.
Oh.
They call them bird spiders.
They can
I've
catch
heard
little
of
birds.
these,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they'll like pop the trap door open and come out and grab them and drag them back in the tree. And I'm just terrified.
That would be
go
so
near a
cool to
cactus.
see one of those.
Yeah, it would. But at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to go close enough to
Yeah.
actually, physically see
See
that
one of
spider
those.
because.
Yikes.
And then New Mexico is one of the only places that has the tarantula wasps.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard of
I've
those?
heard of the,
Those
yeah.
things can get up to like 3.5, 4 inches long.
That's wild.
And they take down tarantulas. And I'm just sitting there to myself, if I seen one of those things, I think it was a bird, and I would probably just kind of try to keep going to keep it away from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I don't
'cause-
think a fly swatter's going to do a whole lot of
Yeah,
damage.
no.
Like, so you see scorpions, you think, man, if those things were bigger, that would be the scariest thing you could ever
Yeah.
see. It's like, man, those things are
I've never got to
crazy.
see a scorpion.
We had, I think,
Yeah, we had a summer.
when we grew up, there was tons of them.
Yeah.
And I remember once I had something in my shirt, and my oldest brother reached in. I was like, "There's something in my shirt." There's a scorpion in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
we were playing hide and seek in the basement, and I felt something on my thumb. I was probably 8, and a little tiny scorpion. with
Those
this
little brown
little
ones that are
stinger.
like-
Yeah, so I got stung by a scorpion right on my thumb, and I thought it was a good luck. I never got stung by a bee after that, so I thought maybe there's.
Hey.
Venom.
But
Yeah.
it's
I'd like to see one of those black ones. Those really big black scorpions.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, from a distance.
yeah, just one of those crawling on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, and I've been to the Colorado River all over the place. I stop down there quite frequently because, that's just.
if you get a chance to do like a raft. Yeah, are you into rafting?
I was watching them, yes. I go to Turkey Run all the time here in
Mhm.
Indiana, and I
Yeah.
go tubing all the time, or I will go canoeing.
Yeah.
But, some of the most beautiful places, Colorado has that really deep red on certain parts of the creek or
Yeah.
river, I guess.
Mm.
And, it's just beautiful.
We'd go rafting down the Colorado River in different spots, and it's just like real sharp canyons on both sides,
Yes.
and just really
That would be cool.
that vibe that you're going for in the Wild West exploration kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was just like that. It was really neat.
And it is, I guess it's all about, because I spent most of my life in Indiana, all the way up till now, till I've been doing this. And it's like, sometimes your brain can't adjust to what you actually are seeing out there. And it's like, well, am I even in the same country? At this point, it's
Yeah.
like, the landscape has changed so much. And, I think growing up, we always took vacations in Florida, so I was always going south, and there's nothing south. I mean, there is. It's
Mhm.
pretty. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's not like the desert.
Yeah.
The desert's something you've seen as a kid growing up, and it's like you watched all these westerns and everything, and I think that's what the appeal is to me, is just that seeing the tumbleweed. So I saw a tumbleweed coming at me. Coming down the road, and it hit this car, and I'm like, you got hit by a tumbleweed, and it bounced off that car and hit mine. It's like,
Yeah.
damn. I'm like, oh, that's what I get, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't help it. So when I see him go across the road, I'm like, meow, meow, meow,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the
Those
Westerns.
sounds.
I just can't help it.
Yeah.
It's just like it cracks me up.
I love when you get out there. There's, as a kid, when we would drive through the mountains to get my grandparents' house, you see mountains beyond mountains. And I always had this dream of like going in the canyons and just going and finding out what's on the other side of all these mountains.
I do that quite often. I'm like, man, I bet you it would be good camping going out there. Like what's on the other side of those, because they don't really give you paths to get there. But I see a lot of people will pull over
Yeah.
and they've got these big sacks on,
Mhm.
and they're just like trucking it through these canyons, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, I bet you that would be like a once in a lifetime type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that was what's cool about growing up there, because it was, by the time we moved to Indiana, it was like with the scout program and things like that, it was every weekend from the time that I was like 12. So for like 6 years, basically every single weekend that would be us with packs
Yeah,
hiking up into the mountains. Some of it very cultured, on a path
yeah,
and stopping at specific campsites. And other times just very off the grid. Like we would do a few. We didn't do this that often, but we do like survival camps.
yeah.
And
See,
so you've got just the minimal things and no food, and you're plucking the needles out of cactuses
yeah,
and eating the cactus, or trying to catch little animals and
yeah,
eating bugs. Day one, you're like, I'm not going to eat. Day three, you're like,
Yeah.
you know which ants taste better than which ants.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're fighting over the big ones.
Catching grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never eat a grasshopper, but
They put them in
that-
suckers out there.
yeah.
And I'm like, this gas station clerk, I'm like, ask her, and I'm like, hey, how do those taste? She goes, oh, a little buggy. And I'm like, even inside the sucker, she's like, yeah, they don't really lose their flavor. And I'm like, have you
Yeah.
ate one? She goes, oh, I eat them all the time. I'm
Huh.
like, she's like, you should try the scorpion one. And I'm like, no thanks. And she's like,
Yeah.
but it's got like a shrimpy taste to it. And I'm like, well, I like shrimp, but I don't think I'm going to go down that route, So I just stayed away from it. I was like, no, I'm going to pass on that.
Yeah,
So-
I'm glad there are people out there that eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Just to make a more enriching world. But
Yeah,
it's
of
not,
course.
not my
Yeah.
style.
I
Yeah,
think
no.
some of that stuff, I think I'm in the camp of
You would do that.
try it once.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those like Fear Factor stuff where they would you bugs
As long
crawling
as I'm
all
not
over
gonna
you.
get if I'm not in danger, I don't know. I think that I guess there always is an element of risk involved with having kind of creepy crawlies crawling all over you. But I think if I can logically get to the place where I think there's no risk of me going to the hospital after this, I think I can mentally get there, being like, yeah, I think I'm okay with this.
I guess.
But I don't know.
Well, we're
I
sorry. Go
didn't,
ahead.
I didn't have a problem with spiders until I was growing up and I was camping and I broke my zipper on my tent door. So I woke up and I was covered in thousands of daddy long legs.
Oh.
And I think it traumatized me from spiders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now when even if I'm like in the bedroom and it's like I got all the lights off, I can spot a spider in the corner of the room in the pitch dark. I'm like, I know you're looking at me. I see you there,
Yeah.
It's like but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely in the camp with you. I love the West.
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome. The mountains.
Yeah.
And Montana. I think Montana's the coolest.
Yes.
You get up there, like, where you Montana Idaho border.
In that panhandle there.
Yeah.
And when you see the grizzly crossing signs, it's like something else. It's like, oh man, I can't wait to see one.
Yeah.
But the only one I've ever seen is stuffed inside of a little gift shop, and I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, but have you seen the claws on those things?
They're up to like 3 inches long.
It's literally their claw is literally the size of my first finger,
Yeah, that's wild.
and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, if that thing got a hold of you, it's game over. There's
Oh, yeah.
But their strength is phenomenal. You see
Oh, yeah.
videos of huge dumpsters and them just tipping it over.
like it's
with that.
nothing. Yeah.
I saw a video of this guy, this bear. I don't remember what kind of bear it was coming after him, and he was freaking out. But he knew what he was supposed to be doing, but he tried to scare it off, or whatever, and he successfully got it to leave. But it was like he was climbing. He's on this edge, and he basically kicks it.
Oh,
In the
I think
head.
I've seen that.
You seen this? And it's
I
man,
think
what
I
a
just
terrifying
watched
video.
that.
Where he's like on a cliff and it's coming at him.
Yeah, I think it came from above him at first and was like trying to bite
Kinda
him on the way.
dodges it a little bit.
And then
Yes.
I don't know if he kicks it or I
He
can't
was
remember.
both.
He
both.
hits it. It's
Yeah,
like,
he was.
that's-
I was.
Oh,
man.
what else are you gonna do?
What a
Like,
cool video to be able to like survive and like that dude scared off a bear.
You guys
That's
ever listen to
awesome.
Bob and Tom?
Uh-huh.
The Bob and
Yeah,
Tom show?
Yeah, yeah.
They was talking about Joe Rogan had a guy on his show. He was from Utah, and he was doing his morning run, and I guess a mountain lion was
Yes.
stalking him,
Mhm.
and he choked this mountain lion out with his bare hands.
That's so
Like
cool.
he like was.
Yeah.
I remember. Yep, I remember
I'm
that
just-
story.
I'm just thinking, man, you got to be in like fight or flight mode at that point. Like it's just
Yeah.
all adrenaline. You don't even know what's going on. You're just seeing black.
But when you're
and-
putting a mountain lion in a guillotine or something. You know, that's such a
Full
cool.
Nelson.
You're like successfully win that fight. You're the coolest dude around.
Yeah, like you just don't want to pick a fight with that guy.
Oh, I bet his wife though was like, "Oh, here we go." It's
You're
like,
always telling that
well, the time
story.
that I was, that one time
It's like,
when
it was a bobcat.
and it was like only 6 months old. Come on. You know.
Yeah. That would be running into wildlife like that though. One of those things would like be so cool.
Yeah.
But so freaky.
Oh yeah.
Like you've seen moose up close.
I think that's the scariest one. I know I've shared that
moose.
before, but camping out there like over time, like our next door neighbor was worked for the Department of Natural Resources,
Okay.
and he did a lot with the wildlife, but he would bring home baby bears that had been abandoned, so we'd get to play with these baby bears. And he had like a mountain lion in his garage that he had to tag and relocate, but we'd come in contact with. I don't want to say on a regular basis, but I've met in the wild rattlesnakes and bobcats and small bears. Never met a grizzly bear or anything, but the scariest thing was a moose, because it was angry and like running at us, and so that was scary.
Yes, I went to Estes, Colorado. Have you guys ever been there?
Mm.
Oh, it's like a painting when you drive into it, but you see the moose everywhere because it's a sanctuary for them.
Oh,
so I was pulling in, and you look at the fire department, and they're just laying out front in the yard, and they're all up by the shops. And these
cool to see.
These things are like massive, like they're the size of our cows, and I'm just like, if that thing charges you, you're not getting away from that.
Yeah, so much weight. Right after we first got married, my wife, we were in Utah, and there was a dead animal on the back of a highway maintenance vehicle. Like, so it was like a roadkill cleanup crew, and it was a moose.
Yeah.
And she had never seen like a land mammal that big in person before, and it spanned the whole width of the trailer.
Oh, I guarantee it.
And she was like, "Is that even?" It looked fake. It was so big,
like a big Clydesdale with
it was
it literally
antlers.
And this one was on the side of because I went to the Rockies there, and it was on one of my way back, and I'm sitting there, and I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was looking at my phone for a minute. I was taking a break, and I just happened to look up in front of the truck, and there was like one of the big bull mooses. And he was just sitting there, you could just see the steam coming out of his nose. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move on because they say that they'll attack your vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, man, if this guy runs into the side of my truck, I'm going to have to do an insurance claim on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not even moving.
Yeah.
I mean, he was ginormous. They got to at least weigh, 15 to 1,700 pounds. Easy. Mm-hmm. And I could see why they take down bears, So if you got caught by one of those guys, it's a sore day if you make it out. I mean, so.
But you had an elk. Was that an elk?
Yeah, I ran into it.
I was pretty scary too, though.
Going through the redwoods, and a big bull elk stepped in. It was huffing, and that was pretty freaky.
Now, where was you at? That's in California.
Yeah, Northern California in the redwoods.
Yes.
It's like if you get a chance. I dropped in Redding. We occasionally go to. There's a dealer in Eureka, which is like 30 minutes from there.
Yeah, I seen the dealership or the sign for Eureka when
I was
taken to Redding, because remember my first run was going to Redding.
Okay, yeah. In fact, I think I remember talking to you about that.
You told me to stop through the redwoods
because that was a cool run. And going through Redding, I love. You go over Tahoe National Forest.
Yeah.
And then there's this like Lawson Volcanic Park or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
I want to stop there. I didn't have time, but
it's
really
towards the end, like when you get close to Redding.
Yeah.
And the pines are just massive, and they just tower you. You feel like this big.
Yeah.
And it's and that was another thing too. Coming back from New Mexico into Utah, or no, I can't remember which route it is, but you come in like this weird way to Utah. And when you do, I mean, it's like sheer cliffs on both sides.
Oh, and that little strip of Arizona between Vegas and like St. George. Yeah,
yes, and the mountains are so big that it just makes you feel like you're like an ant crawling through those hills. And it's just like, it plays tricks on the mind. And it really does, And like I said, if you guys have never seen Ghost Mountain, you guys have to check that out.
I've never even heard of it.
That
sounds awesome.
Ghost Mountain and Wolf Spotted Mountain or Yellow Spotted Wolf Mountain. It's Wolf Spotted View. It's like a scenic pull off. I mean, it's just and like I said, it shows you where, and they tell you about, they used that pass because they couldn't make it through certain mountains and terrain to build the road. So they had to travel out, and then that's how you came to that viewing point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they went like 45 minutes out of their way to build that road because you couldn't get through a certain point on foot when these travelers were, I guess, doing their expeditions. But it's really cool history, and there's like 6 or 7 boards that you read. I just can't think of the exact name, but it's literally like 20 minutes from Ghost Mountain. So you can see both within a short distance of each other.
Oh yeah, I'd like to check that out.
And if you guys ever do go to Ghost Mountain, please stop by that wolf spotted viewing area and walk out, because they've got, like I said, it's got the 2 canyons on each side, and it's got that walkout point. And I mean, it goes out probably a quarter of a mile, but I couldn't make it all the way.
Is this off of 70? Or is it up?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's off of 70. I think
There's a
so.
ton of cool stuff.
Yeah,
off of 70.
You'll just have to Google Ghost Mountain.
Yeah.
And when I went down there, my tuner was like going all over the place. My gauges were being weird, but they say it's because of the electromagnetic field that surrounds that mountain that also causes it to glow. So it's like like on a energy line or something of that nature.
That's interesting.
So if you guys ever get a chance to, please, I mean, it's stunning.
That's my next trip. There's a bunch of stops along 70 that I want to check out. Like there's a state park in Utah called Goblin Valley that I've been wanting to see. And apparently you can check it out 3-4 hours. You can pretty much check out the whole park.
Yeah,
is what I read on Google.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and I've seen some of the images and stuff.
Yeah.
But like Moab is right off there. Canyonlands is right off there.
Yeah.
Like all these really cool places.
Yes. Devil's Tower. I've seen Devil's Tower. Have you ever heard of the folklore around Devil's Tower?
I've never seen Devil's Tower.
Okay,
It's
so
in Wyoming.
it is South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah. And basically what it is it was one time a giant tree, and it was cut down somehow, and it was petrified into a mountain. And then the Indians would climb the mountain to get away from the giant bear. And I guess the bear was so big that it left its claw marks in the side of the mountain. And so you can see it. But all the Indian tribes, all of them said the same folklore.
That's same.
It was all the same, story, collaborated from multiple different nations of these tribes. And it looks like a giant petrified tree. But I don't know if it really truly is, but they say that back in the day we used to have giant trees.
The core of an ancient volcano or something like that. I don't remember. I remember reading about it a long time ago.
Yeah. And it's not far from Mount Rushmore. And they've got the dinosaur museum down there. You can they've got Ronald McDonald's farm there. Like, you didn't think it was a real place, the Old McDonald song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They've got a place there that you can stop and check that out. You can go in and see grizzly bears, elk, moose. Like, there's so much to do in South Dakota. That's where that 1800 town is in South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
That's where it's at.
That would explain, because I've only been through South Dakota a couple times, and
there's so much to do there. It's unreal.
I'd like to go check out the Badlands. Like, I've never been out to the Badlands.
I've not been there. And the Mystic Mountains is there in South Dakota as well. You guys just have to go to South Dakota, man. I mean, there is so much to do in South Dakota. It's unreal. And it's all reasonable. Like, none of it's expensive to do.
Yeah.
Like, you get it. Just the dinosaur museum has actual. They give you the sites where they dug up the fossils, and so it's not like a dinosaur museum like you would think. Like, they don't have like all of them in there, but the ones that they found in South Dakota is there, and it's actually worth it. So. And you can putt after you're done checking out the museum.
Yeah.
He's
using a T-bone femur to.
Yeah, because it's good to get out and exercise after driving a lot of miles. So, what was that other one? They got a lot of cool rest areas too nowadays.
Yeah.
So they've got some that have like vintage stops. So it gives you like Doug's Diners at these picnic tables, and then it's like Phillips 66 gas station, and Route 66 is just it's just awesome. I mean, just the stuff you see on Route 66 is just it's just so cool. Like, I mean, you just can't pass it up.
Yeah.
It's like So I mean, if you're into things like that, then there's a lot to see out there.
Did you, because you mentioned that you stopped like off of 90 when you're getting in Montana. where Custer's Last Stand was, Battle of Little Bighorn. You
Yes.
stopped at that place
Yes.
there?
Actually, I stopped there and I was looking for the mountain sheep. I guess that's what they're called. They climb the side of the mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they say that they have extraordinarily huge ones there. I didn't see any, but I was looking.
Yeah.
But it was kind of towards dawn, like the sun was setting when I was coming through there. But I stopped in one of those little towns there and took my rest break there. And I kind of got out and was walking around this little town. I mean, it's just, there's just so much to see.
Yeah.
Like the United States is so vast, because I watch a lot of videos from Britain. And these guys, they complain about driving an hour away. Like, that's too far for them. And I'm like, it takes me, I drive 2 hours to my job. Like, you know. And this one guy, he comes over here all the time. And he's like, the United States has spoiled me when I come home because I can spend 12 hours driving in the same state and not see it all, So it's just like the amount of things to do in the United States is just unreal. But going east, I'm not really much of a fan of. And I think it's because it's congested. And I think that's my biggest issue of getting over it because the traffic jams, like when I went to New Jersey, I mean, it was just traffic after traffic. Like you can't really do much, and it's just like, man, but out west, it's just wide open. You don't hardly see anything out there other than, they got spaceships out there in New Mexico.
Oh, I'd like to all that Roswell stuff.
It's alien jerky is what it is. But it's like this massive spaceship that they turned into like a beef jerky store. And you guys spoil me leaving me beef jerky all the time, So I stopped in there and I bought some.
Good.
But you guys can buy like these cool souvenirs and stuff in there, like alien bobbleheads. They got like aliens driving around in cars. It's just something cool, So, and I'm sure both of you have kids, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, your kids are gonna love that stuff. And you can even take a ride on an alien spaceship. It just goes around in a circle, but it's cool. You just don't see stuff like that out east. But I mean, I guess that's the best part of it. Getting to see the little things on the sides. And then I've been through Vegas. I drove right down the Vegas Strip.
Oh yeah, because it goes right. I mean, the interstate goes right through. Vegas.
Yeah. But I don't want to stop because if you stop, you're gonna leave with nothing. You probably end up walking away.
Yeah.
So I kind of stay away from those places. I've gambled once or twice, here and there, like at the gas station. I'll drop a quarter in the slot machine, never win. But but I drove all the way down through there and I seen Pawn Stars. I seen the gold and silver Pawn Star building. I thought that was cool. And just getting to see all the calamity of all the items that they have stuffed on that boulevard is unbelievable. Yeah. But it's cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like the last time I was there, what's the big famous one? The orb one. What's that called? The globe. The globe.
Wait,
the
which
orb.
one are you talking in Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas.
I think I know what
they
you're
got all
talking
the
about.
TVs on it. It's
Yeah.
gonna drive me nuts. The big ball. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't think of the
Is it
name
called
of it.
The orb, the globe, the sphere, the
But
sphere,
Yeah,
the sphere.
It
That's
makes
it. Yeah.
faces at you and stuff.
It's got
Giant
all the
eyeball.
weird
Yeah.
TV. Yeah, it's
Their
pretty
stadium does
crazy.
it now. Have you seen their stadium?
the
out there?
Raider Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you're driving down the interstate, and if you watch that stadium, it'll show you all kinds of stuff on there, like make faces at you, do all kinds of. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, I love going out west. I mean, I could go out there all the time.
Mhm.
If you guys wasn't so far away, I'd probably move west.
Yeah.
So, but I just love it out west. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could live out there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you listen to? in the truck?
Mainly the CB. I just turn the CB on and just listen to other guys that's just driving down the road.
Oh, okay.
You
Right
know,
on.
so
What do they talk about?
You got a lot of preachers on there. Guys who sit at home on home bases and they talk about everyday stuff. Things that's going on in the world, that's going on in other countries. I listen to other truckers who are just looking to vent. Things like that. Not too much of anything in particular. Every now and then you'll find like you can do traffic updates going down the road. You can find guys that's traveling down the same road you're traveling down, might be miles ahead of you, and let you know what's going on up there. And
'Cause that's when I think of CB. That's kind of the only thing I ever picture is just like,
Mhm.
hey, if anybody's near mile marker 278, there's a speed trap.
Yeah, yeah, things like that. They call them the bears and the rocking chairs.
Yeah.
And things like that. Or they'll say it's getting heavy, which means there's a lot of traffic coming up, or incidents, which means accidents.
Do you hop on and?
Every now and then I'll get on there and I'll chit chat, with, various people who are on the same channel. We'll all just take turns, and give them updates of what the road's like, and some guys will ask you, where are you from, where are you headed, things like that. I don't ever give exact locations or what I'm in or what I'm doing, because
Yeah.
you just never know with
Yeah.
these truckers, because most of our serial killers from the United States were semi
Well,
drivers.
my experience with the CB is our older brother Josh. I remember just riding with him and him just goofing off on the CB.
Yeah. Yep.
Getting people riled up.
Yep, I'll do that every
Yeah.
now and then, just mess with them. I'm like, there's an accident coming up, or I'll tell them there's a cop coming up, and there's nothing there. Just because, these truckers, they'll be running 90 miles an hour with 80,000 pounds. And, it's just like, it's crazy. I'm just like, you guys don't even understand the damage you would do if you plowed through a little car.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that gentleman that was driving the truck in Florida? He was on interstate, I think it was 90. He literally pulled a U-turn in the middle of the interstate.
Oh, I did see that. Yep.
They let that guy go.
Huh.
And he had no remorse for what he did. I don't mean to talk about, bad thing, but, this man should have never done that. Like, he was like in the interstate, just busted Huey, and that van hit them at 70 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But
Yeah.
when you're on the road a lot, I guess your mind does weird things, I suppose.
It's a numbers thing when there's 50 million drivers.
You're gonna
gonna
get
be
some nuts.
Whew, have you seen the truck stops lately?
packed all the time.
You can't hardly if it's after 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You good luck finding a spot. That's the best I can tell you. So you be prepared. Best thing I have found is the truck parking. They now just because it says truck parking doesn't it? They still have a small facility. It doesn't have like nothing big. It's just like a little shack. You go in, use the restroom, come back out. But those places are usually less populated. But if you try to go to a Love's, a Road Ranger, or a Pilot, you're not going to find a spot. But I have found out too that reserving a spot at the Love's or something is fairly cheap. It's like $12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah, so you can actually get online on Love's. So like if you even if you're not a rewards member, you can still book you a spot. So and when you come in at whatever time, just plan out, what time you're going to make it there, and you can book it ahead of time, and it saves you a lot. So
Yeah.
How do they reserve it?
you'll just go online and
Slot 12 or something.
it'll give you each parking spot has its own tag number, so it's like a 6-digit number, and then it'll say spot available or whatever, or even if you show up, and because most of the time guys don't want to pay for parking. So those reserve spots are normally open. You can just pull up, get that number, and then call inside and say, "Hey, I want to reserve this spot," and just pay for it. Or you can go inside and purchase it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us guys, that's on the road for 4 or 5 days at a time, we'll go in the shower,
Yep.
or we'll wash clothes, things like that. So it's good tips,
Yeah.
to have it when you're out there, especially if you're new to doing this. Parking is a big issue.
That's the tough one. Yeah, we used to early days we'd park at WalMarts and stuff, but now you get
They
and
won't
more
let you.
can't do that.
Yeah. So now, like, if you try to park at a Walmart, they'll put a boot on your vehicle, and it's $700 to take that boot off.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
I haven't had that, but I've had where they'll come up and they just honk at you.
yeah. So I was at a Love's one night, and I ran out of drive time. So couldn't make it any farther, and I kind of pulled off over to the side where some other trucks were at, and they came through at like 2 a.m, waking everybody up.
Yeah.
Making a move, and this security guard was kind of a jerk for doing this to me, but he's like, yeah, we got a big parking lot over there for overflow. You can go over there and park. So I went over there, and it's a dead end street. It's not even a parking lot. He just sent me over there just to do it, me and like 3 other semis. And I had to back all the way back down that road at like 2 in the morning after I was already asleep.
Yeah.
So you got to watch some of these guys because they'll send you the wrong way.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, being on the road is not that bad as long as you're minding your business and staying out of everybody's lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't do bad. So, fuel went back up again.
Yeah.
But there's a place in Iowa, $3.11 a gallon at Tipton, Iowa.
In Iowa. Okay.
Yeah, $3.11 a gallon. And that reminds me, you remember when I went to Omaha? When I got into Omaha, 9 gas stations was out of diesel.
Oh, really?
I was down to a quarter of a tank. I was like, no, I am not getting stuck in Omaha.
Yeah.
So I was like driving around. So I drove like literally like 12 miles around Omaha, Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
looking for fuel. Luckily, I found one.
They were just out.
Yeah. They lowered the prices. Everything was like $3.09 a gallon.
So
These people were stocking
Took
up on
it
it. I
all,
guarantee it. They was
Yeah.
stockpiling that diesel. They was
Do you have an auxiliary tank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally got me one. It's 120 gallon too.
Good.
Yeah.
So
That's a game changer.
Yeah. So I'll fill that thing all the way up. I'll at least get 90 gallons worth. So now I'm capable of carrying like 152 gallons,
Mm-hmm.
which helps. But permits aren't even that expensive. Guys talk about permits being so expensive. They're not. It's $20 in New Mexico. And you can buy it right there at the way station.
Yeah.
And everybody's always talking about how bad way stations are. They're not that bad. All they want to know is, is your paperwork in order? Are your logs in order? Is your load in order? That's it. And then you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even bother you.
Yeah.
And most of the time they green light you through.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks going into California is rough too because they're like, well, I don't want to get stopped at the checkpoints.
They just ask, do you have any fruit? It's like, yeah, I was
Yes.
no fruit.
So I'm coming up to it my first time going to Reading, and I'm coming up to it and I see her and she's like pointing here and then she's like, no, come over here. And I'm like, okay, well maybe she's pulling me over to do some kind of inspection or something. Turns out she was asking me, you got any fruit? You got any firewood? Anything like that? I'm like, no, I don't have none of that. She's like, okay, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, so, and it's like that through all of California. Anywhere you come into California, you're going through one of those. But every time I come in there now, that's the only time I've ever been stopped.
Is it going through those checkpoints?
Just that one time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And through all the other places I've been through going into California, they're just like, they look at me and they're like, just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool with me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There's I've got, I don't know if it was El Paso, maybe even El Paso, going through, I had one of these checkpoint things, but it was right by the border. I think they were, and I saw some the border patrol people had a car pull over and pulling people out. And
Yes.
So you're trying to like kind of watch where you're going.
Yeah.
But yeah, El Paso, it's one where they had checkpoints.
Yep.
But it was not like every time I've gone through California, they just ask, do you have any fruit or firewood?
Yes.
But Texas, I think I had a checkpoint. I don't remember what they asked me. Probably like, you have any guns? You have any marijuana? You have any whatever? But, yeah. And then you look over and they're pulling people out.
Yeah. I've talked to a few of the border patrol agents there in New Mexico. I was sitting there fueling up one time and they was all out there in like a big group. And the one guy he looks over at me and he goes, man, I like that truck. And I said, thanks. I was like, I like your truck too. Can I borrow your lights? He's like, no, not unless you want to go for a ride. I was like, no, I'm all right on that. But most of them, they don't even bother people. They're just mainly looking for, because out west, they've got all these, what are those places called where you can buy cannabis and stuff?
Dispensaries.
They got a bunch of those. So if you ever pay attention, like around a lot of the truck stops, there's dispensaries everywhere. And that's where you're going to see all the border patrol. And I think it's because these people think that just because it's legal there and you can buy it there, that you can transport that stuff back to where you're going. Because I don't know how many times I've been going down the interstate and I will see border patrol and I'll see like 4 people standing outside the car. All their clothes are out. They're going through bags. Yeah. And I'm just like, do you really think that they don't have cameras that watch you folks go into these places and do this? Like, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
sometimes they're looking at the wrong picture. So,
Yeah.
but it is, it is what people are going to be people regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
Right on.
Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for a little while.
Yeah, appreciate it.
4 or 5 months, hopefully it will lead into, 4 or 5 years. You'll have some more stories.
Of course.
Of cool places to visit. Yeah, you had some places that
I know. I
I'd
appreciate
never-
I'm trying to always add things to my list. So when
Yeah.
I go back through and listen to this, I'll write them down. But it's like, man, I'd never heard of Ghost Mountain. And it's like, that sounds amazing. He's like,
Yeah.
and a couple other places when I'll go through, I'll write them down. I love that, adding them to my list.
I've got a tablet out in the truck that I write these places down.
Oh,
So whenever I get a chance to, I can just email it to you guys.
you should, yeah. And we'll have
Yeah.
to go through because
Yeah.
we just went through and listed some of our favorite places we've stopped. And
Yeah.
when you start going through them, you realize, man, there's so many. And then you
Yes.
think about all the places that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
And there's still tons of places to go to too. And
I promise you guys that 1800 town is not disappointing.
yeah.
Like at all. Like just the homestead is like a mile and a half away from or it's a quarter of a mile, I think, from the town. So I mean, there's quite a bit of walking involved, but I'm telling you guys, it's so interesting, like to see like the actual stuff from there. Like they've got a brothel house that's still in like the actual original condition. It's just it's crazy, like to check it out. Like
yeah.
if you like anything Western, you would definitely like that. So I would definitely check that out. And it's not far. It's only like 500 miles from here. So it's pretty cool to check out. I'd definitely give that a. And if you guys ever been to Mount Rushmore?
Been to Mount
I
Rushmore.
have not.
Yeah.
I've not been there yet.
Yeah, I've never been before either until I went through and I stopped for the first time, and it's actually amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and just all the flags going down that.
Yeah, it's spectacular. You can see what Indiana was like the 16th or the 18th Union state. I think they give you the order of what the states went in with the Union. So yeah, a lot of history there. And the gift shop in there, they're a little overpricey, but they got a lot of cool stuff in there too. So
yeah,
kind of check that out, and it's always good to help these places out because they keep these, these monumental places open and keep it going, So history is very important to us,
Yeah.
So without history, we don't know what happened. We don't know where we're headed. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's good to be educated on our history, but more than that, it's just so interesting. I don't know how people don't find it fascinating.
I mean, I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm intrigued by it, I guess.
I think it's one of the signs of getting older. Is
Yeah,
you start
I think
getting into
so.
history.
Yeah, checking it out.
Yeah.
And when you're young, you just want to run around and just do, fun stuff. But as you get older, you start to pay attention to, how our nation was built and what makes us the number one country in the world, and we got a lot of hardworking men and women in this country, that's just put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into everything we are today.
Yeah.
So, I think it's important to teach history and to, teach the youth, the fundamentals of life, I guess. So I suppose that would be the way to go, and keeping our culture alive. So, but
Yeah. Right on. Well, I appreciate it. You got anything else, Jordan?
Yeah, no, just we really appreciate you being a part of the team.
yeah, of course. I appreciate you guys for having me today. So,
Yeah, this has been fun. I will have to get another year, another round of cool
of
places
course.
to stop. And,
because
yeah,
I'm gonna continue on the adventure. So I always look for new places to stop. And it's just memories.
Yeah,
And that's really what you get in the end. So
yeah, right on.
that's what it's about. Just creating memories.
Yeah.
Hopefully good ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now that I got this taken care of, start having my wife ride with me,
Oh,
so
yeah.
she can start to enjoy it because,
Yeah.
like I said, my youngest he just now went off to college, so house is empty, and she's been wanting to go with me on the road, and I told her I'd get the paperwork turned in, and
Yeah,
she doesn't want to sit at home by herself, so I figured we'd hit the road together.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
You should.
Is it, so that's it for me, guys.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Right on.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better from here.
Well, where are you headed today?
I am headed to Idaho.
Okay.
Right,
All
yeah.
right.
Coeur d'Alene.
I'm not quite for sure. I didn't look at the name
Well,
yet.
yeah, we'll probably.
I think it was the Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of remembering it, but I wanted to say Candace. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
Coeur d'Alene sounds
something
more
like that. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds better. But any chance I can go to Idaho, anywhere near Montana,
Yeah.
I love Montana too.
Yeah.
But Idaho's beautiful.
Yeah.
Idaho's got a lot of beauty to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into Washington, and it's like, it's kind of like California.
Well, it's Shoshone Falls. I don't know if you're near. That's my 2 or 3 on my next places I want to go in Idaho.
I've seen the signs for it when I was going to Oregon.
I saw pictures of it and I was like, I want to see that.
Yes. And then another place I went through, I wasn't too far from Niagara Falls, but I didn't get to stop. So I've got so many places on my list that I want to go to.
Yeah.
But I'll just have to wait until I take that path.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want to see it all up front. I kind of want to just spread it
Spread
out.
it out.
Yeah,
There's plenty to see. So,
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. But I appreciate you guys for having me today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whether
Cool.
you're here.
yeah.
And now you can log on, you can listen and see how amazing your voice sounds. That's the best part.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, I appreciate it.